What's up, YouTube? Man, this video has been a long time coming. I must have shot it and deleted it and all that about 3 times before I came up with this one. So if y'all go back in my channel, you'll see that I was given a Craftsman LT2000 automatic 42-inch deck, and then I haven't made a video of this one yet, and I was also given this one, Yard Machines by MTD. And long story short, I sold the LT2000 and kept this one, took some of the money from the LT2000, sunk it into this one. What it is I mean, every mower that I've had, I've been given, you know, it's kind of like this MTD right here. They're the poor man's budget riding mower, and you know, I guess you could be a poor man or be considered a poor man when you can't even afford to buy a brand new riding mower, no matter what brand it is. And so that's kind of the point of this video today, and just wanted to share with y'all my newest addition to my fleet, and the reasons why, and also what I had to go through to get to where I'm at today. So let's start with the reason why I chose to get rid of the LT2000 rather than hanging on to it. And the thing is that when you go to keep stuff, I highly suggest to anybody that you always consider all the pros and all the cons. You know, for me, the thing is that all the stuff I have to be able to work on. Again, I can't afford to buy riding mowers. I can't even afford to buy used ones. All the riding mowers, this one here, I had to tear down a fence to get it. The gray LT2000 was given to me, and this mower was given to me for free. Now, obviously, when you are given mowers, then there's going to be issues with them. And, you know, unless it's just somebody that, you know, it's just a rare occasion that you get one that has no issues. But this one here, this one and the LT2000, I had issues with and had to work on it and get it fixed up. And anyway, so I took some of the money that I had from the LT2000 and sunk it into this one, and to get it going. And so let's cover, I guess, the biggest reason why I decided to hang on to this MTD. I mean, I know I badmouthed them in the past, and I have to swallow my pride and swallow my words, but the biggest reason is going to be right there, right by the grass chute. You can see that 46-inch triple blade riding mower, I'm sorry, cutting deck. That's going to be the biggest reason why I hung on to it. Matter of fact, it is the only reason, because if it wasn't for that, I would have gotten rid of this mower, especially considering what I had to go through to get it to running and everything. Also, this deck, 46-inch deck, seems like they manufactured them a lot better than, I think the other one below it is a 38-inch, I believe. That's the only ones I really have experience with. The 38-inch, they really use thin metal, stamped steel. You know, I know this one's stamped in some places, or stamped also, but this one here is a lot thicker and a lot heavier duty deck than the 38-inch, is what I'm trying to say. And so, that's the reason why I hung on to it, is that 46-inch deck. This one here's got a 42-inch, but I live on just under an acre and a half, you know, and so the bigger the deck, the more I can get done. So the less time I spend on it. So anyway, so when I got, the guy that gave us the mower said, you know, the motor was shot, and he was through fooling with it, messing with it, and gave it to us. And let me raise the hood up. And so it had that 20 horse 540cc Intech Briggs & Stratton on it. And when I got it, and I brought it home, I took the valve cover off and I adjusted the valves with no lash, and that's the only way I could get it to start, and it was spitting out oil pretty bad. And so I knew there was something internally wrong with the mower. It was just at the time I didn't know exactly what I was running up against, and so I came to find out later on that I was fighting against an oil leak, and you can still see remnants of the oil leak in here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but what it was the engine had actually run so low on oil that one of the lobes on the cam had wore down, so that the lobe was no longer oval shaped, but it was round, and also bent one of the push rods. Actually, what I did is I purchased another engine. I purchased a 13 horse Briggs & Stratton and put it on there. There is a video that I just uploaded on my channel not too long ago. Let me show you guys. Hold on. What it was is I took apart that 13 horse because I thought it locked up, and I found out that Briggs & Stratton is using plastic piston skirts on their pistons. And you can go check that video out. So if you go check that video out, you'll see why I took the 13 horse back off, and was actually able to pull the cam out of it and put it back into this one. Now the only issue with that is that the 13 horse did not have oil filter, and this one did. And the oil pump is driven by the cam, and so when I took the cam out of the 13 horse, which did not have an oil filter, that meant it lost the oil pump drive. So I ended up having to take the bottom of the 13 horse engine and put it onto this Intech. And I don't know if you know what you're looking at, but Intechs have an oil filter right there. Let me see if I can show y'all. Here's the original part, bottom part of that motor, right there. See the oil filter, the yellow oil filter? So, and just so you know I'm not making it up, you can see, let me see if I can get a good shot of the red RTV sealant that I used. You can really see it right there to seal the crankcase when I bolted it back on. And you go look at a Briggs & Stratton motor that has not been torn apart, and you'll know that that's not factory. Briggs & Stratton does not put red RTV sealant on their engines. So anyway, I got that swapped out, and got the cam changed out, put the bottom of the crankcase on there. Had to go get a different set of push rods. I didn't get new ones, and also a different tappet, because where that push rod was pushing against that, or I'm sorry, the cam, where the tappet rides on the cam lobe, had scarred it up pretty bad too, and so I didn't want it grinding down the new cam. So new tappet, new push rod, and new cam, or different ones anyway. And one thing I will make a note on, if you're watching this video and you think, oh, I can take my 13 horse and fix my 20 horse, the difference between a 13 horse and this is the piston throw. And what I mean by that is the cylinder is longer in this than it is in a 13 horse. Also, I think the piston may be bigger too, but nonetheless, what I'm trying to say is though is that the push rods are longer in the 20 horse than they are in the 13 horse. I tried to use the push rods from the 13 horse in this, and they were too short and wouldn't reach. So, anyway, and if you can see, I've already put my touches on the fuel system, fuel filter, fuel shutoff valve, and also did have to go ahead and start circumventing some of the safety switches. And what I mean by that is that on the pedal here, right up underneath, right there where I'm pointing, you'll see there's a plate welded to this rod that the pedals connect, or I'm sorry, this rod right here that this is connected to. There's a plate right back there that's welded onto this, and that rod comes up and pushes a switch, so that way you can start the mower. I took that switch, I pushed the button in, and I put a screw in it to hold the button down, so I no longer have to worry about that. Then also the reverse there, putting it in reverse, you know, you can't run it in reverse while the deck is going, while the cutting deck is going. When you follow this lever all the way down to the bottom down there, when you put it in reverse, it's got a little tab that closes and touches an electrical contact, and there's a wire connected to it. All you got to do is disconnect that wire, and then you don't have to worry about that. So anyway, guys, let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a start up for you, let you hear it run and stuff, and then I'm probably gonna end this video. One of the things also, I don't know if I said it already or not, but this been a long time coming in the making of this video, because that oil leak was not easy. Ended up having to change the crank seal, and then I got the crank seal changed out, and then realized that the crank case was leaking, and then tear it apart and put it back together, and forget the governor's not in there. Had to take it apart again, put the governor in it. Actually, it's not really the governor, but on the governor armature itself, there's a oil. It splashes the oil around in your engine to make sure everything gets oiled. And so I had to make sure that was in there so I didn't lose my oiling system. So yeah, I've had that engine apart and back together about 3-4 times now. So that's kind of what took so long on making this video, and some of the issues I kept running into. But also originally I thought I was going to be able to use a Kohler engine in it, but the way the Kohler exhaust works was hitting against the front there. Because I don't know if y'all know, Briggs & Stratton exhaust comes off the side and Kohler's goes off the bottom, and it just would not bolt up. I mean, it would bolt up, but the exhaust was hitting the frame there, so had to take it back, and that's when I got that 13 horse, and it's been one thing after another. But you know, again, like I said, when you working on a budget, when you're a poor man, you make things work, and so that's what I've had to do here. I'm just making it work. So let's see if I can get this started up and let y'all hear it run, and then I'm gonna end this video. So yeah, so I'm still adjusting that carburetor, but other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. So like I said, just putting it through its paces now and seeing what's up and making sure everything's good. And so I had to replace 2 of the belts. It's got 4 belts on it. I had to replace 2 of them. So anyway, guys, so y'all take care. Appreciate you watching the video and keep an eye out for the next one. All right, God bless.